Hi, my name is Victoria Judd, and this is my persuasive speech for this week's assignment. The topic that I have chosen is stress, specifically work-related stress, and how it affects not only a person, but it affects those around them, and why it is important for society to understand the factors of stress. The first aspect before we can talk about stress and stress in the workplace is to truly understand what the definition of stress is. According to the research that I did on the topic, it says stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Also, according to some social statistics that I found, it says that stress factors include job pressure, money, and even sleep depression will cause one to be stressful. The other aspect is that there are 77% of Americans who have physical symptoms caused by stress. Stress is not only a state of mind, it can affect one's well-being physically. I personally was in a stressful position before the current employer that I have now. The actual job itself was not stressful. However, the coworkers around me, the way that they carried themselves, their attitude, their language, and just overall being at that place caused me to be stressful. It's not that I didn't like my job, it was I did not like the environment that I was with. It caused an effect on my marriage, the way that I treated my children, and even my relationship with Christ. When I was under a lot of stress, I was unable to function as what I was meant to be and what the Lord had called me to be. To better improve myself, I had to remove myself from that situation. At first, it was very hard due to finding another position that met what I needed and what I wanted in life as far as hours and pay and that kind of thing. However, once I removed myself from that, I was a lot more happier. I actually recall standing in my kitchen and crying tears of joy when I was able to put my notice in at that old position. Another aspect of stress that I personally have witnessed in my life is my spouse took a job change last year and worked for a company on a very, very odd shift. You see, we have two children who play sports, who are highly active in the community, and as well as our church programs. The shift that he was on was during the day, however, it worked late in the evenings as well. So he did not get home until 9 or 10 o'clock. He missed ball games, he missed practices, he missed school events, he even missed family dinner, and that took a stressful toll on him. However, after much prayer and deliberation, we found that even though the pay was worth it, the stress was not worth what it was doing to our family and to our lives. It not only affected him, it affected me, the children, and his ministry with being an evangelism. So we prayed about it, and the Lord opened a door for him to take another job. He did take a significant pay cut. However, in the last 6 months that he's been there, he has been a lot more happier and satisfied with life. His stress level has went down. He used to have constant headaches and fatigue, and he doesn't have that anymore. The actual job that he's on now is not as stressful, but the hours in itself are less stressful. I think as a society as a whole, we emphasize that we can do it all, that there is nothing too great or nothing too demanding that we can't take on. However, we need to reevaluate ourselves and ensure that the stress is at a minimum. When we go to work, we need to enjoy our work. Sometimes it may have bad days or bad hours. However, for the most part, I truly think that stress can be controlled at your work if you truly enjoy what you're doing. You don't consider it a job, you consider it a career. And that's personally what I have found in my own life. I think that your coworkers around you will be happier if you are not as stressed. You're able to function at a better pace. You're able to meet the demands and the goals that are set forth with you at your employer. You're just a better worker overall when you are not stressed. If your job details stress, I think that you have to find a way to relieve that stress and make sure that when you leave your office or workplace that you truly do leave your office and workplace if you're able to. Whether that be going to the gym to run off some steam, going home and watching a movie, spending time with your family. Finding ways to deal with stress will not only help you personally, but it'll help your family as well. I think that as a society, we should care more about the person and finding ways for life just to be happy. And with stress and work-related stress or personal stress, all those factor into each other, and we have to find that perfect balance in order to care for one another, because your stress is going to affect me if you're in my life, and vice versa. So I think it's important to find ways to deal with it and ways to learn to cope with it. And I really hope that you take the time to think about the stress in your life and reevaluate what is truly important with you. Things are beyond your control sometimes, and sometimes you just have to let go and let God. Hope you have a great day.